Don't look at the light. They're welding this tower for hull 64 right behind me. So the purpose of a tower is to be able to get someone up high so they can spot action in the ocean, fish, birds. It's also part of the aesthetic of the shape of the boat, but not everybody likes that look. Some people prefer to not have a tower. They'll maybe just have a hardtop covering their bridge. Everything from where it mounts on the boat to how tall it needs to be to whether it has a buggy top or not. It's literally how the customer wants it to be on their boat. So in the good old days, we had erector sets that we played with as kids, and we bolted all these metal pieces together, and they're kind of doing the same thing, only they're gluing them together. They're gluing them together with liquid aluminum. Here you can see the weld marks on this, and you can hear in the background that buzzing sound. That buzz is kind of the trademark sound of a MIG welder. That's a metal inert gas. So we're on the port side of hull 64. Early on in the process, we mount aluminum plates in the cabin sides so that the tower and the outriggers have something to be drilled and tapped or bolted through, depending on the design. In this case, this is part of the outrigger leg. We have notes on where these aluminum parts are, but the metal detector never lies. We do a corresponding thing for our tower. You can see all of that right in that zone is aluminum. Once all of the pieces and components have been put together, matched to the boat, matched to the mounts and so forth, then the tower will be ready to install. And to do that, we'll stand it up and then we'll do what we call flying it into place, because it does look like it's flying. We'll set it onto the hull. It's the last check to make sure everybody fits nice, bolt it back down for real, and that's where it stays. The Palm Beach Tower crew is busy putting this thing together. It takes 3 or 4 days to get it all done. It's a lot of process. Once that's stuck on the boat, we actually finally get to see the actual view of what this boat will look like when it's built. So we're at the stern of the 90-foot Jarrett 68, and we're looking at our trim tabs. Way back when gas motors first came out, they didn't have trim tabs, and they would kind of put a little hook in the boat and assume a certain speed. Well, trim tabs make the boat so that it can be trimmed so that the bow goes down to where it needs to be at any given speed, because they're adjustable. They have a little blade that pushes down and it creates a wedge of water that trims the boat. The alignment to the bottom of the boat is super critical. If it's too high, we don't have very much adjustment. If it's too low, it's already trimming the boat, and we don't want to do that. We want to have our full range of designed trim. So we pre-mounted these trim tabs. But we got the engineering department and the mechanics all involved, got an exact location, we've punched the hole. So we're inside the boat. This is our transom. We were just outside looking at it. And now you can see that these bronze plates get mounted in here. You can see the hole and this heavy bronze plate. We use bronze because it's got a real high resistance to corrosion. And these will be glued in just like that. And then this will all get glassed in real heavily because we obviously don't want that to break. We're in building 1 on the carpenter's loft. And one of the things we do on our boats is we pre-make our wall shapes. This is for Jarrett Bay Hull 68, the 90-footer. And so there's a lot of walls down forward. We have 45 feet of living space down forward. And all of those walls have some shape, either a gentle curve or a distinct corner. All of those are prescribed in the design, and we get our CNC cut jigs to be able to lay up. And you can see they take the tricell and they score that. We call it kerfing it on the table saw. Then it bends nicely into the shape, and they'll glue that and they'll fiberglass it. The kerfing is an old trick, probably as old as table saws, but it makes it so we can bend that wood and it fares itself very nicely without any fuss and bother. And here we have a part that's just been laid up. You can see that it's got the fiberglass on it. There's little pieces of plastic under those washers so that when Charles pulls those screws out, all of that will peel away and it'll be clean. Eventually those will get faired up and smooth. Anywhere in the down forward section of the boat where we need structure, we build that out of plywood and we fiberglass it and we tab it to everything. Everywhere where we only need a divider wall and we don't actually need the extra structure, we use tricell. Tricell is extremely light. You can see it's got a thin veneer on each side, and then it has this corrugated cardboard. It's actually a phenolic board. It's put together with a waterproof resin. So it is fully waterproof, although it should theoretically never need to get wet. But it makes it very light, it makes it very stiff, and it makes a real good structure to assemble to. When we're putting these pieces together, we'll core out a little section of that and put a little wood cleat in there and glue the two sections together, and it'll go together kind of like Legos, but a little bit more interactive. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Jarrett Bay Insider. I hope you learned something, and I certainly hope you enjoyed it. But as always, we'll catch you next time.